I was there the day Greg Noll got that picture on that he's still riding that wave. I was there that day.
For once, the Weather Bureau correctly prognosticated the storm surf. A pot of gold is waiting for anyone crazy enough to meet the challenge.
It was one of those days you'd get up in the morning and you could feel the surf pounding in your feet, you know. When the surf gets big on the North Shore, you can feel it.
Twice in the past 10 years, an enormous wall rose out of the sea about a mile out from Bonsai Pipeline. Naturally, no one had ever ridden the thing. It'd be sure suicide.
I remember thinking, oh boy, the waves are going to be big today. So for some reason, and I can't remember why, we went to Pipeline. And there were only 2 or 3 guys out that day.
Then Greg Noll arrived with his board.
Greg Noll and one other guy were the only ones that got there, and he was there before I was, so it had changed.
You get out?
It's a hell of a set. I don't know if we're going to make it past that shorebreak or not.
Come on, let's try it.
I think we can get out if we get over here. See, I still think the best bet would be get somebody up on the hill squatting for us and then wait, you know, wait for a good lull and then go, huh? Just look at the set coming outside. Take a look at that size of that thing. 25. Close to it. Hey, here comes Sting. Maybe he's going to go out with us. What do you think?
Mike? Hey, you want to go?
Come on.
Come on.
I had a hangover that day. I'd been drinking with Neil Tobin, the guy that I used to dive with all the time here. And I tried to get out that day. I was not able to get out through the shore break.
Rick lost the toss and had the dubious honor to be the first one to try to get out. It looked impossible, but there had to be a channel. Finally, there was a slight lull and Ricky launched. He had plotted a course of attack, but within the first 50 feet, the cross current was taking him off course. Greg and Mike waited for the inevitable. Paddling hard, Rick plowed over the first wave just in time. Ricky is the most determined surfer I've ever known. His reaction is curiosity, not fear. Greg and Stang moved down a newly formed sandbar to a more advantageous launch spot.
I could not get out, and I was in great shape at the time, too.
Greg and Stang launch. They picked their course and railroaded for it. Rick works his way back high on the wall, but one glance tells him pulling out would be disastrous. Another killer wave close behind leaves him no choice but to ride it out. Suddenly the wave plays out and Rick is left to face the menacing shorebreak. He calmly waits until the last possible second and tries to plow over. Couldn't make it.
I tried to get out, and I made 2 or 3 attempts, couldn't really get out, and finally saw some of the waves, and I started thinking to myself, well, maybe I don't even want to go out today. But eventually I'm sitting on the beach, and I saw maybe 2 or 3, there weren't a lot of waves ridden that day. Maybe Greg got 1 or 2 or 3.
But what about Greg and Stang? In 5 hours outside, Greg Noll still has not made his move. Stang is standing by Greg waiting for that ultimate wave. Someone screamed, outside. And there it was. Greg Noll on a wall a mile long. With no hope of escape, Greg screams across the seething onslaught of hungry fury, knowing that at any second he will be devoured alive. That is unbelievable.
That's one of the real famous pictures of him, yeah. He's still riding that wave.
Right?
I love Greg. He's a character.